puzzles like a dream. Hands are moving light and quick, got our tricks and perfect flicks. Every corner piece fits tight, speed puzzlers, we own the night. Puzzle mania fills the room, hearts racing, we feel the zoom. Victory is almost near, speed and fun, we have no fear. Puzzle pieces like a storm, shapes and edges we transform. Patterns forming under stress, speed puzzling at our best. Every second counts today. Focus sharp, don't drift away. Lost in pieces we unite, building worlds with all our might. Whispers humming in the air, laughing, dancing without care. From the chaos, order springs, puzzles solved in joyful flings. Pieces flying in the air, clock is ticking, no time to spare. Colors blend into the scene, solving puzzles like a dream. Hands are moving light and quick, got our tricks and perfect flicks. Every corner piece fits tight, speed puzzlers, we own the night. Puzzle mania fills the room, hearts racing, we feel the zoom. Victory is almost near, speed and fun, we have no fear. Puzzle pieces like a storm, shapes and edges we transform. Patterns forming under stress, speed puzzling at our best. Every second counts today. Focus sharp, don't drift away. Lost in pieces we unite, building worlds with all our might. Whispers humming in the air, laughing, dancing without care. From the chaos, order springs, puzzles solved in joyful flings. Pieces flying in the air, clock is ticking, no time to spare. Colors blend into the scene, solving puzzles like a dream. Hands are moving light and quick, got our tricks and perfect flicks. Every corner piece fits tight, speed puzzlers, we own the night. Puzzle mania fills the room, hearts racing, we feel the zoom. Victory is almost near, speed and fun, we have no fear. Puzzle pieces like a storm, shapes and edges we transform. Patterns forming under stress, speed puzzling at our best. today. Focus sharp, don't drift away. Lost in pieces, we unite. Building worlds with all our might. Whispers humming in the air, laughing, dancing without care. From the chaos, order springs, puzzles solved in joyful flings. Pieces flying in the air, clock is ticking, no time to spare. Colors blend into the scene, solving puzzles like a dream. Hands are moving light and quick, got our tricks and perfect flicks. Every corner piece fits tight, speed puzzlers, we own the night. Puzzle mania fills the room, hearts racing, we feel the zoom. Victory is almost near, speed and fun, we have no fear. Puzzle pieces like a storm, shapes and edges we transform. Patterns forming under stress, speed puzzling at our best. Every second counts today. Focus sharp, don't drift away. Lost in pieces, we unite. Building worlds with all our might. Whispers humming in the air, laughing, dancing without care. From the chaos, order springs, puzzles solved in joyful flings.
All right, hello everybody and welcome to tonight's competition with our first custom puzzle. So give me a wave if you can hear me, everybody. All right, great to see you all. Yeah, and welcome to our viewers on YouTube. So this puzzle has already been done by about 40 people, either in the meeting this morning or offline, and we have another 80 or so people joining us tonight. And yeah, so very excited about that. So yeah, we had a question. So the theme of the competition today is printing your own puzzle, or designing your own puzzle. And the question we asked our participants in the registration form was, if you would make your own puzzle, which image would you choose? So I'd love to ask that first to my co-host and virtual assistant, co-host Jim, and virtual assistant Misha to join us for that question.
Yeah, should I start, or Jim? Do we want to start?
Oh,
Jim, you're muted.
Can't hear you, Jim.
Aha, there we go.
Yeah.
There we are. Yeah, I think for me I would want to do different kinds of images depending on what kind of puzzling I'm doing. Like if I'm doing a for funsy, just watch it, definitely a lot of like Star Wars explosions, like light, like some sort of like really actiony kind of thing. That's also probably pretty difficult to do at speed. And then I think if it was something more speedy, I would want it to be really bright with like quantized sections of different textures and colors, so that way you could do a lot of pulling pretty quickly, just to see how fast you could go and really tie it down that way. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's almost similar for speed puzzling. I think of different textures and colors, but they can also be repeated in the puzzle, so it doesn't become that easy where you want to put the pieces. And for casual puzzling, I would love to do a collage creations from favorite films, movies, such as Inception, Oppenheimer, Lord of the Rings,
That'd be
etc.
good. With the Inception puzzle, would you be done with it before you started it?
That's a tricky question. Maybe.
Or maybe the pieces get smaller the more closer to the center you get. That would be a cool cut.
Yeah, the problem with movies as movie posters as puzzles is that they often have dark backgrounds. Like whenever I look at images of like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, this type of genre, even the Star Wars, there's so much like black in them. They're often very grayish and black and not so colorful. Yeah. Have you actually done any movie style posters, puzzles?
I did on Saturday, 2000 Lord of the Ring puzzle from the first movie, I think, The Fellowship of the Ring. And it was quite tricky because there was the map of, I think, the first center of Middle Earth. So from Auenland to, I don't know, Mines of Moria or so. And it was almost green path, and yeah, it was very hard to do it, but we did it. We finished it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Those movie poster ones, they often end up being really dark and shadowy in spots all over the place. I think it would be really cool to see like an explosion of sci-fi kind of puzzles, because I don't know if that's like a style that's really common, but there's also a lot of work in, well, I think.
Yeah, no,
But
so
I'm also really excited to see what you're about to throw at everybody, Michelle, because this is, you know, you've done such a good job, and I think a lot of people have done a really, people that have done Flex have really helped to make sure that this is a secret and they haven't been like posting anything. So big shout out to everybody who has done this already and is like kept a lid on, because that's really hard to do, especially when everybody is so excited to know what the image is going to be.
yeah, I really appreciate that. You know, like even before the
Oh, I think we lost you for a second there on the mutes.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, even before we had like a custom puzzle printed, like when we were just playing with the idea of the Flex and thinking, oh, can people, you know, submit an offline time? Can people keep a secret? Like I have to say, you know, there's a certain risk there, and I do appreciate that everyone who's participated in the Flex so far has, yeah, as you say, kept a lid on it, like throughout the different ones, and especially this one because we had it this morning as well. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone who's done it so far for keeping it a secret, and that as many people tonight can have that, you know, that experience of doing it without any prior knowledge. So yeah, so thanks Michael and Jim. I just saw a funny comment from Gaza saying it's most likely going to be a collage of photos of my husband.
That would be amazing, and I hope that that's true. I hope it's just pictures, just like close-ups of Eric from different angles, just full-on Picasso style. That would be amazing.
He says, oh, you think it's a coincidence that Michelle posted on Instagram introducing her husband this week? Any other guesses? Feel free to write your guesses in the YouTube chat what you think the image might be. Yeah, no, I have lots of ideas. Yeah, lots of ideas.
My suggestion was a collage of every EJJ until today, so 36 EJJs happened until now. So today, the
63.
63, yeah, and today 64th, and then we have maybe 64 mini pictures.
Well, actually,
cool.
I received it. I received a gift with a collage of EJJ pictures. That was from Anami. So that was like really nice. Like it was a real surprise when I opened the gift from her, and there was like the hedgehogs from Cherry Pazia. There was like the taco, what do you call it? The nacho family or the nacho gang from the Sunshine Puzzles. So yeah, that was really funny to have like kind of like past images. It broke lots of copyright laws. That's why I won't yeah, I'll be very careful to keep that in the private collection. But yeah, no, a collage. I love collages in general. But yeah, you're going to say something, Jim?
Oh, just even you could even do the picture within a picture of like a larger picture made up of all the smaller ones inside of it. Those are really cool. But that's also becomes really, really busy and really difficult right away. So I'm excited to see how hard you're going to hit today and what the art style is going to be. Like every decision that you make affects how puzzlers get through an event. So I'm just excited to see your thought process later on about how you went about deciding what you were going to aim for. It's really cool.
Yes. All right. So it looks like we are ready to go. Just quickly checking the comments. So yes, just lots of people saying they're excited for the image. That would be great. Okay, so we will do a pre-unwrap. So you may unwrap the puzzle now.
Oh man, let's go!
Now, when we publish these, we specifically asked for no plastic wrap and no plastic stickers. So the lid should just come off really easily with this.
Ooh. Oh, that's real cute.
Oh yeah, and just remember, don't destroy your wrapping paper, because if you're participating in the anniversary edition next week, you can, or even if you're not, you can still make some fun crafty things and might win a prize. So yeah, just check that the lid comes off easily, that there's no stickers on there, and place the lid back on the table so that we know you are ready to go.
Oh, that's so cute.
Okay, it looks like everyone is ready. Okay, let's do a countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, everybody. And congrats, Michelle, on getting a new puzzle out and a new brand for the Euro Jigsaw Jams. That's amazing.
All right, let's see what we have today.
Oh, look at that.
So this one is called Puzzle Vibes, and for those who don't know or guessing, yes, it is an AI generated image. We wanted to make something that was really cozy, specifically a woman in her living room surrounded by plants and doing a puzzle, and this was what we came up with in the end. So just to note, it is a bit darker than on the box. So that was actually one of the things we learned about this. Just keep in mind, we're at the beginning of this process. We're just still figuring things out. And one thing we did learn is that an image on a screen is actually a lot darker when it's printed as a puzzle. So we're keeping that in mind for future editions. But yeah, let's see how we go today.
No, that's really cool. And I don't think you're the only one that's gotten hoodwinked by darker on the pieces than on the image. If you think of like the cow puzzle from Worlds or some of the other ones where on the image it can look a little brighter, on the pieces it's a little different. So I'm really excited to see you going through this like learning process and using this kind of art as like a tester to see what all's possible and then branching out from there. It's going to be really cool. That's such a cute image too. And I'm wondering what people are going to go for, because some of these targets are a little bit bigger than others. The edge is pretty interesting here. There's a lot of dark on one side and across the bottom, but it is a little bit broken up. But I could see the brighter upper right-hand corner and across the top being pretty straightforward as well. But that orange sweater looks really, really inviting, and I wonder if people are going to get sort of sucked into over pulling on that unless it's really clear on the texture.
Yeah, so we have with us today Aaron from the UK, And if he got a puzzle printed, it would be of his gorgeous face. We also have Agnes from France, Alejandro from Spain, who of course actually has printed a puzzle, which he launched at the Worlds last year. We also have Amanda from the UK, Andrea from USA, and Andreas from Cyprus.
That sounds like a great time. Or even just of people's hands, that would be really cool too. But you can see we're only a little over 2 minutes into this, coming up on 3. Alejandro is almost done with his flip here, and Andreas is doing a pretty big sort. It looks like oranges and some of those green plants and some edges getting pulled out there. And Andrea Pang is doing an excellent job here. You can see that she's sorting all of her edges over towards the left and is blitzing through the rest of her pile and is going to get started here shortly. And Amanda's looking really solid. It's fun to see Amanda flipping away from the top part of her pile. And it's some puzzlers start at the lower end and flip down towards themselves. Some start further away and go up and away. But seeing that rainbow set is really fascinating.
Yeah, somebody asked who's participating today. We don't have a participant list, but I can tell you some of the popular names of the fast puzzlers. We have Alejandro, Christian, Andrea, Chiara, Emilia, Inga, Hannah, Iris, Lenka, Mari, Teresa, Veronica, Vicky, Tammy. So we have a full house tonight of top speed puzzlers. So the fastest time that we received so far was, we had 3 people who did the puzzle around 49 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So that's the time to beat tonight, 49 minutes.
Well, the time to beat so far, and as these people tear into this new puzzle, I'm really jazzed to see what they find with it.
Yes, I'm gonna leave. Like how Andreas has got these nice sorting colors there. You can see the colors a bit better there. And Andrea said that she would, if she made a puzzle, she would like the trees in her backyard. And Andreas likes a picture of his kitten, and Amanda would get a puzzle made of her daughter's art.
That's so cool, and I would imagine like there's a combination of both sentimental value of getting your own puzzle of somebody, like a kid's art or something special like that, just getting a big picture of that in general, but then also having the pieces where you can really like savor in each little special moment inside of that image as you're building it together, which is really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of people got sentimental, wood. So some people have had pictures printed. Somebody said they made a gift for a wedding using one of the wedding photos. And other people got some holiday photos made into puzzles. So having that sentimental value that you can enjoy as you are putting the puzzle together is lovely. So on screen we have Angelica from Germany, Anna L from Germany, Arjen from the Netherlands, Arkadius from Poland, Ajelin from Argentina, and Barrett from Germany.
Yeah, go Puzzle Fox. Angelica's doing a great job. You can see a little bit of a sort up front. Annie, that table looks really wild to be playing on, and Annie's doing a great job. You can see that she's pulling some of those green plants off to one side and is getting those together, kind of hopping around a little bit, which is really interesting. Arjun has most of those edges pulled out. We're also coming over on the 6 minute 30-second line here. So people are really taking off. Arcadius has almost that whole top border built out. It's just looking for a big join, and then he'll be squared away. Barrett has the whole top right-hand side looking to finish up the edges. You can see that Barrett is doing this thing of putting a lot of the edges kind of in the middle of the build field and then pulling out from that and landing them about where they're going to go. And that's really good way to stay organized. It's going to be interesting to see how it lines up with that lower right-hand and left-hand side as those get a little mixed in. and then I can't quite see the name there. I think it's Alejandro or Aline. Has that whole right hand corner built out, and you can see that they're doing a little bit of fussing around with some of those greens. I think there's some good texture in the green plant there that people are going to go for, Michelle.
Yeah, so there are those green plants, but there's also like this pastel green shade in the background. You have the shelf, and that also has this greenish tinge. The couch is also a bit greenish. The wall paint is also greenish. So this morning a lot of people went for the bright window and the border and the table to start with. So pulling out those lighter elements to get started.
Yeah. And that's pretty common. Whatever jumps out the most to the eye is what you're going to be attracted to. And if you can, some puzzlers can really distinguish those green differences very easily, and sometimes it kind of blends in with the browns and blacks. So I'm really excited to see how it shows up on the pieces here.
Yeah, so we also have Birgit from Germany, Cameron from Canada, Carolyn from Germany, Catherine from USA, Chiara from Italy, and Kristen from Germany. And yeah, Chiara's got a really good start there on the border, but just coming up to 9 minutes and most of the border is done. And now she's getting started in that top corner of the window.
Yeah, Kiara pulled a lot of that lighter color, and I think there's a big stripe, some sort of brown line down the middle of that she's going to be able to build through and use that as kind of an anchor, and then expand out on either side from that, going into the other regions. So she's in a really good spot here. You know, a 500-piece puzzle, the whole border is about 86 pieces. So if you have most of the border done in under 9 minutes, you are on a really excellent clip early on here, especially as you start sinking in some of those easier chunks that are discernible as well. Catherine is doing a really good job. She didn't do the full border, but you can see that she has almost that whole upper right hand corner of that bright yellow kind of background. I think that's like a window to the outside that's a little bright. Is that right, Michelle?
Sorry, say that again.
On the right hand side, is that like a window to the outside with sunlight pouring in?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a window, and there's some vertical lines of the window frame, and also the curtain. There's also a whitish curtain that's hanging down. So most likely people will go for those vertical lines to get some structure in there.
Lovely. And Cameron's doing an excellent job. Almost has the full edge done. Carolyn making excellent progress, and Kristen also doing that style of putting the pieces in towards the center of the build field for the edges, and then pulling them about where they're going to go, sort of doing a choo-choo train to build the lower edge together, and is making solid progress as we come up on the 10-minute and 30-second line here. Really excellent stuff. And you can see, I think it's Bridget up there in the upper left, doing kind of a bigger sort. It seems like that sweater, a lot of people pulled off to one side as a big chunk, and then is focusing on the edges now to give some structure.
Yeah, so Catherine, who was just on the screen previously, she said, there is one specific image of me standing in Iceland, which I love so much. When I'm in a more permanent home, I plan to get that as a puzzle and then frame it. To others, it may not be that special, but it reminds me of such a great trip I had in February last year. So that's lovely. And
that's really great.
Cameron said he's always been a fan of vintage posters with graphic images. So that's something that he could imagine getting as a puzzle. So on screen right now, we have Kieran from Ireland, Daria from Poland, Dietmar from Germany, Ekaterina from Russia, and Amelia from Finland.
I love just people thinking about sentimental images for their puzzles. I got Mari at one point a puzzle that was a picture of us that but before we really got into speed puzzling, it was one of those send in a picture, we'll give you a puzzle. They were like, oh yeah, it's really hard, and I was expecting her to take a few hours on it, you know, and about a half hour later she had already already completed it. So I was like, drats. But we have it hung up, which is really great. Amelia's doing an excellent job here. You can see she has that right-hand sunlit window already built out, and a lot of the edge squared away. She's leaning back and forth, trying to keep her own pace moving, which is always fun to see. Kiara doesn't quite have that whole window done yet, but you can see that she's bouncing around to get some other little islands built out as chunks. I can't quite read the name in the lower right hand side because it's on a white table. Who's that, Michelle?
On the lower left,
on the lower left, yeah.
That's Dietmar.
Dietmar has done an excellent job here. You can see how deep they've gotten into that window side. There may be about 30 or 40 pieces behind Amelia at this point, but making excellent progress. You can see that they've already sorted the edge as well and are going to be able to start hammering away on that. Sieran has a lot of that edge, and it's fun to see him standing up at this point, because a lot of times after the first 10 minutes, that adrenaline wears off of being shot out of a cannon, and you start go, okay, I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna settle in, and you can see none of that is happening here. A lot of them are still standing and moving. Daria, doing a great job, has the left-hand side, and you can see that the lighting for those blues really pop with the lighting that Daria has, and that might give her a little bit of an edge coming into the later part of the puzzle, which is fun to see. And Ecteria, I'm so sorry for mispronouncing your name, also has that window built out and the edges pulled. It's fun to see how close they're keeping the pieces to their build field. A lot of times you see a pretty big gap, but they have them so close, and that can save on a little bit of extra time moving from one place to the other.
Yes, I'm just going to leave Amelia up there a bit longer. So we had a question in the chat from Victor about what is the piece cut like. The pieces, they have a bit of a matte finish. So we actually do have a second puzzle printed already. And I noticed this one went, the second puzzle went a lot faster, and I noticed that it didn't slide so well into the gaps. So that's something that we're changing for the third puzzle. It's a learning process. So we're probably going to switch factories and try one that has a more smoother finish that slides easier, because here I wasn't so fast with this puzzle, but with the second puzzle, I just went a lot faster, and I noticed that I just that slide touch was missing. However, it is as far as I've experienced, it is a unique piece cut. There's very different shapes of knobs and pieces, and quite thick pieces. We have had one puzzle with the same piece cut before. That was from Dust Puzzle Collective, the symphony puzzle with the exploding kitchen with all the fire. So a pretty good piece cut, but as I said, for speed puzzling purposes, I can see some room for improvement.
It's always a learning game, and what the piece cut is goes a long way. I always like it whenever the pieces aren't just repetitive standard where it's identical everywhere. If there's a little bit of shape to it, it makes it really interesting. I think it's a good piece cut. The surface didn't bother me. It does have a bit more, I don't know how to describe it, a bit more of a firmer surface perhaps, but the first few puzzles that I've done with this one, it didn't bother me, but with the fast puzzle, I thought, that would have given me a few more seconds if I could just slide pieces. It seemed to catch a bit. It just seemed to it felt like the surface had a bit of friction on it, I could describe. So on screen right now we have Esme from the Netherlands, Everly from Estonia, Fleur from Netherlands, Franziska from Germany, and Freya from Denmark. And these puzzlers are doing really solid here. You can see Franziska has that full border. That sunlight window is a great starting place for folks. I think there's a little bit of island there of green background that's starting to go in. Freya has almost that full light window in. You can see that sometimes having those pieces really close can benefit because you don't have to move quite as far. But it also makes it where if it's a real busy puzzle or if there's a lot of dark pieces, sometimes it's hard to tell where one piece starts and another piece ends, and that can cause a little bit of confusion. So hopefully people keep moving through because they are doing an excellent job as we come over the 17-minute and 30-second mark here. Doing really, really well. Flora's doing excellent. You can see that window coming together. And Amelia has most of the border done in that window. You can also see that there's anchor points of, I think it's the woman's face starting to come in. The table lamp as well, starting to line itself in.
Yes.
Niels has the full border done and is trucking along a little bit of hesitancy trying to figure out which line lines up with which in that windowsill. But once they're done with that, they're going to be on to some really good anchor building.
Yeah, so on screen right now we have Gabriela from Romania, Hannah from Czechia, and Hannah from Finland, Inge from the Netherlands, Iris from Denmark, and Irma from Switzerland. Yeah, so it looks like a very popular starting place is that top corner, and it's a really nice section. You know, it's a nice, satisfying chunk of the puzzle done. So good job to everyone who's got that going.
And you can see Hannah has started getting that table line in as well, which I think is going to be a pretty good line, because below that there's some of that a little bit of the ambiguous darker pieces, and above it you run into that sweatshirt and some of those other background wall hangs that are going to be easier to use with a little bit of shape understanding once it's lined up in there. But she's doing really great. She's doing great. Iris has foregone the border altogether and has that upper right hand side, the face of the woman that's going to be puzzling, and has that table line built in very handedly. I like seeing how organized Iris's field is. There's not a whole lot of scattered uncertainty. Everything is pretty direct where it sits, which is cool. And Inga's doing a solid job here. You can see she has almost the full border and some of the plant built in from that left-hand side, along with that right-hand side window. So Inga's doing really well here. I'd keep an eye on her. She also has that sweater sorted out.
Yeah, so I just want to make a comment. So my time for this was 1 hour and 7 minutes. And a lot of people who I'm normally faster than, they beat me this morning. So I'm glad for that. It's nice to, there's some people you like, I don't know, most people probably have some markers. There's familiar names that are a little bit above, a little bit below, and you kind of see your placements. And then, a lot of the people who I'm a little bit faster and they got me by a good 5 minutes this morning. So, happy to play that little cat and mouse. All right, so let's see who else we have with us today. So in total we had 130 puzzles printed. And at the moment, we have about 80-ish in the meeting, and 40 who did it offline or this morning.
Yeah, I think a lot of puzzlers are really excited whenever there's something that's been unpublished that they get to have a handout, because it really levels the playing field and makes sure that nobody has a second look advantage or anything like that. Hannah's doing a great job. Has the outline of the puzzler built in, so almost all of those lighter pieces in a full border. That's really good work there.
Yes, so we have Eva from Czechia, Jagoda Berry from Poland. Yes, so she recently came first in a Polish competition, so she's also someone to watch out for. And Victor came second in that competition, so keep a name out for Jagoda, one of the many fast Polish people. There's another fast Polish person that we'll come up to when we get to the letter K very shortly. We also have Jana from Slovakia, Jane from Denmark, Jessie from the Netherlands, and Jessica from Germany.
Yeah, I think Poland is definitely going to be one of the big puzzling powerhouses coming into 2025, just across the board. And Yoda's doing an excellent job here. You can see that they've got the full border and they're starting to go in on the sweater. It looks a little disorganized, but I think it's because they sorted out that orange-red sweater and are trying to fit it in. There's also a lot of the background wall that's been built near the top going in pretty quickly. Jessica getting making headway on those darker edge pieces on the left hand side, those greens showing up a little more clearly there, starting to get those in. Jaina doing an excellent job, almost has the full border and a lot of that upper wall. And this is really going to come down to what are people seeing as they get through the next round of things. Like Jane over there in the left hand side. They didn't do the full border, but they do have the table built in. And I think somebody's in the background. I think they're doing some side-by-side puzzling, which is always adds a layer of adrenaline inside of here. So I wonder sometimes if the adrenaline feels different when you know it's an unpublished puzzle and you're going to be up against a lot of other people that haven't seen it before either. I'm gonna give a quick update on how Alejandro's doing. He has the entire puzzler and almost the full right-hand side of this puzzle built in, and is now starting in on the darker things over on the left-hand side. Doing really, really great stuff.
Just going to give everyone a closer look since you can't find this image on the internet. Yeah, I got stuck here with all the folds and the clothing. Like this part I found quite hard. There's not much variation in the color of the top, and here unfortunately is darker on the image on the puzzle than what is on the box. So that's also another place where people might get caught up.
And sometimes that's just tough. There's also a thing of some puzzlers redo puzzles an awful lot and get really comfortable with the cut. So when they touch a new brand, we've talked about this before. Some puzzlers don't even notice that there's anything real different aside from, oh, okay, I got to do it. And some people get really thrown off by the cut. So it's going to be fun to see how this pans out for everybody.
Yeah, so I know that some of the faster puzzlers, as we are coming up to 25 minutes, are getting pretty close. So I'm going to scooch through these ones a bit faster. We have Jessica from Sweden, Joanna from Poland, Jody from the UK, Judith from Germany, Katrin from Switzerland, and Kim from the Netherlands.
And Joanna doing a really cool thing of starting from the inside out, getting that puzzler in. It looks like they've sorted the edges over to the side, but they're really focusing on getting the puzzler done. Very meta picture there, which is excellent.
Okay, so
doing a great job as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got Kinga from Poland, Kristen from Poland making very fine work there. We have Lena from Denmark, Lenka from Slovakia, Leonie from Germany, and Mari from USA. So all looking good. I'm just going to keep Christian on the screen so that it looks like that he is ahead at the moment, just so we don't lose track of him. But yeah, Lenka and Mari also doing really great. They're really solid.
Yeah, Christian did this interesting thing where he started with that upper right-hand side and bounced around with a few anchors here and there, getting that green background wall in. And then he went in and finished the rest of the border. I think that was a really cool call. Now he has a way to not only use the anchors to expand out, but has the border to work inwards and can use the shape of the pieces really well. Lenka is in a similar spot. I think she's maybe about 75 pieces behind Christian at this point, but has that full border. Some of the girl in. Mari has almost the full puzzler in. I think those red pieces might have caused her a little bit of struggle early on, but she's picking up the pace on the second half here. A little far off from the leaders.
Yeah, so jumping ahead to Maria from Finland. We also have Marie from Norway, Matthias from Germany, Mayday from Poland, and Michelle from Poland. And just going to jump ahead because we have some really fast puzzles at the end of the alphabet. But yeah, everybody's doing great. And I think, yeah, I don't think it's a puzzle that anyone would particularly struggle on because you can just move from one section to the other. The bookshelf is a bit trickier as well. So yeah, I would say that when I actually did the puzzle for the first time, I did find it trickier than I had expected, because the bookshelf, yeah, with all these lines going left and right and up and down, sometimes it is a bit tricky to place like which shelf in the cabinet is it, and is it actually a book or is it a shelf? Like some of the books are the same colors as the shelves. But yeah, so there's different sections there. It's not like super easy. It's just there's bits of challenge in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's always the hard thing for puzzlers is figuring out when to move on if something's not working, right? And with this, it looks like there's enough sections that are kind of big that sometimes you can think, I need to move on from this or not, but you're still working on the same thing. So sometimes just moving to a wholly different area can give you a little bit of a reset.
Yes, we also have Nina from Denmark, and Nora from Finland, Olivia from Poland, Ramona from Switzerland, and Erika from Denmark. And yeah, Olivia is also doing a really great job there with basically focusing on the background. So you can see basically the silhouette of the lady, and then now starting to fill in that lady.
Yeah, getting the outlines is a good call, and that table also shows up kind of as like an orangish brown, I think. So that's going to be a pretty straightforward pull for a lot of people once they focus in on it a little bit. And that can be kind of hard whenever the pieces are scattered a little bit. Ramona did this cool thing of separating the pieces out a little bit left and right. You can see that a lot of the puzzler pieces are over on her right-hand side. She's going to build out from there, which is excellent. But Kristen has the full outline of the puzzler there and has mostly the left-hand side remaining. I think he might be slightly behind Alejandro at this point. So it's going to be kind of a tight race coming into the end.
All right, so we also have Saskia from Estonia, Smilla from Sweden, Stein from Belgium, Tammy from USA, and Taya from Finland. We are at 29 minutes, and yeah, everyone's doing great and hopefully enjoying the puzzle.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think we'll have any sub-30s, but that's a-okay. This is still going to be a really fast puzzle for people.
coming up to, we're almost there at the end of the alphabet, and then we can close in on who might be in the running for the top.
Just did a quick shout out for Tammy, rooting for Tammy, one of the US favorites. Just lovely human being all around. You can see full edge, has a lot of that table in, doing a great job. Go.
Yeah, so we have Teresa from Czechia also doing an amazing job there, really starting from the right and moving across. She's only got like the plants and some of the bookshelf left to go. We also have Ulla from Estonia, Veronica from Slovakia, Vesna from Finland, and Vicky from Hungary.
Oh wow, yeah, Teresa's doing an excellent job here. You can see that because she's down, she is only down in that plant area. She's going to be able to really fly through that. She doesn't have the edge built in yet over there, so she's not going to be able to use some of that shape work to her advantage. But that whole right hand side looks so clean. It's going to be a game of how quickly can she get that edge in order to box everything else in to catch up a little bit.
Yeah,
Veronica looking really good. Yeah.
So
I think Alejandro's in the lead though.
So I've just got the last two people. We have Wies from Netherlands and Zana from Latvia. And yeah, now let's check in on our leaders. So I'm going to find Kristen again and Alejandro.
Teresa just did a big swipe over and has the line of that edge built and ready to sink in as soon as she gets a couple more pieces in. But looking at Alejandro, we know that sometimes he darker pieces can slow him down a little bit, and he's been on this region for maybe about 4 minutes now, just going piece by piece, getting them in. It can be a little tricky, and the lighting can be a little tough, but I think Kristen is starting to catch up. I think they're both slightly ahead of where Teresa is right now, in terms of total pieces. But it's really gonna come down to the wire here.
Yeah, no, the shape, the empty holes that Kristen and Alejandro have, they look very similar. This kind of U shape curving around, which is the bookshelf and the plants on the left. Yes, so I'm going to also, yeah, Andrea's also doing really well. Let's check in with Hannah and.
Oh yeah, Andrew's doing a great job. Has that full table, a lot of the edge built in. You can see that she's using that dead reckoning process to try to get a couple of things in. Kiara's doing an excellent job coming into the black, but this really is a game between Kristen, Alejandro, and Teresa to see who's going to be the first place winner on the Euro Jigsaw Jam inaugural unpublished homemade puzzle, which is really, really exciting. You can see Alejandro kind of picks up 1 or 2 pieces and tests them in a few different places. Kristen really, really blitzing his hands. You can see his entire fingers are just flipping around as he tries to brute force his way through the ending here. And he picked up a whole lot of spacing all of a sudden just by doing that brute forcing method. Teresa has a couple of more pieces that she's trying to sink in, but the edge isn't fully connected yet, so she's doing some more fill in. But Alejandro trying to keep pace with Kristen. I think Kristen has a few extra gaps over on the right hand side that haven't been accounted for, so he may be trying to brute force a piece in on that left hand side that doesn't exist yet, and that might slow him down just enough to give the edge over to Alejandro. Alejandro seems to be taking the lead here. He almost has that top section squared off. I think there's maybe about 10 pieces up top, and then the rest of that lower chunk of it. He is blitzing through the rest of this. I think he found the key to use a little bit of the gradient to sink the rest of this in there, but he is blasting his way through the rest of this. Teresa has that edge locked in and is maybe about 50 pieces out in total, but ahead at this point. Kristen not being able to find purchase for the rest of those pieces, trying to bouncing around. I think he may have a few of those extra ones that just aren't going to sink in that spot yet. That cleanup on the right hand side might be the undoing here. But you can see Alejandro just 2 pieces at a time getting those rest of those in. Teresa, it looks like she's trying to finish up the rest of that little plant that's by the table, but it's bouncing back and forth between the top and bottom. Alejandro is maybe about 20 pieces out here. You could see that he smells the end in sight, and he gets that little extra second wind burst of speed, and he finishes up that top section. He is maybe about 15 pieces remaining total. Kristen, I don't know if he's going to be able to catch up. There's maybe about 50 pieces left remaining for him. Kristen and Teresa are about even, but I think Alejandro is going to win first place here. If as long as something wacky doesn't happen. He's down to the last 4 or 5 pieces here. You can see that they're sunk. They're all in that middle spot. He grabs it, left hand, right hand. He sinks it, and he hits the done message. And Alejandro walks away with the first EJJ unpublished puzzle. Congratulations, Alejandro.
Well done, Alejandro. Yeah, so we just crossed 36 minutes. Yeah, no, really good job there. So actually, it was good because we did actually intend to chat with Alejandro tonight about publishing his own puzzle. So that's very convenient. Well done.
Really great. Fantastic job. Well, now we have Teresa and Kristen battling it out for who's going to get second and third. I think Kristen may have the edge here. It's a little hard to see how many pieces Teresa has left on that particular table, but she's really, really concentrated with where those pieces are. I can't quite tell, but Kristen is looking very, very strong here. Has maybe about 20 pieces remaining. I think Teresa has closer to 35 in total. So Kristen may be able to bounce into this. You can see he's been standing for a while. just keeping that acceleration going for this last little bit here. He has that whole right-hand side locked out, so these remaining pieces are going to go in very, very quickly for him because there's no other adjustments, and he gets those last 4 or 5 in. There's only 4 remaining that I could see in his hands, and he's going to be able to sink these pretty quickly here. And he gets it. Congratulations, Christian. Very, very well done.
Well done, Christian.
Okay.
So there was just 2 minutes between Alejandro and Christian.
That's so close. Well, the level of puzzlers is just so high. Sometimes it's just a matter of even what the image is and if it favors you with these like S tier high place puzzlers. We could see that Hannah is doing an excellent job. She only has the lower part of this, the lower right hand side of this puzzle remaining, which is really phenomenal because
Okay, it looks like we've just lost Jim for a moment.
left side, he's going to the right hand side. Oh no! We'll see if I come back.
Okay, there you are. You're back again.
Okay, cool. I'm glad I didn't go missing forever. But yeah, Hannah's looking very, very strong. Lenka as well. This is going to be a really tight top 10 finish here for everyone. I'm trying to pull everybody up as quickly as I can to keep an eye on it. But I think Hannah has maybe about 20 pieces remaining. Teresa trying to finish up here as quickly as she can to lock in a third place finish. But I think Lenka, Teresa, and Hannah are all pretty close here. Lenka blasting through the rest of that puzzler. Teresa is down to a handful of pieces, sinks it in left, right. Hannah trying to get those darker pieces in, but they're really, really difficult, and she's having to do some brute forcing. Right, so I think Lenka is going to be able to overtake her here. Teresa hits the button. Congratulations, Teresa locks in third place.
Oh,
and Lenka's behind by only a few seconds. That was so close.
So close, Lenka.
Congratulations to both of you. That was phenomenal. That was so well done. You can see Teresa taking a deep breath there, just recovering.
I love seeing Teresa's facial expressions, and she always just like collapses, and you just feel like all this tension has been released when she's finished the puzzle. Just really feel that energy release when she's done. Right, so we have 4 finishes, and we're still under 40 minutes. So Alejandro, Christian, Teresa, and Lenka.
And it looks like Hannah L is not too far behind here. Has just maybe about 10 pieces left. You can see that now she can brute force those pretty quickly since everything else is closed out. And Kiara's Kiara's doing a really good job. You can see that she has those upper left hand side done. And Inga's not too far behind at all either. Keep an eye on Inga. And Hannah L hits the buzzer and hits the top 5 slot. Congratulations, Hannah. Very, very well done. Congratulations. And Inga has maybe about 10 pieces remaining, a little less. She's brute forcing those last little bits. Was a little difficult to see because of the glare on the puzzle to our camera, but she's down to about 8 pieces. Sinks it. You can see the little bit of adrenaline getting into her hands, trying to bounce her out just a little bit, making her a little uncertain. But she's going to be able to sink them in pretty quickly here. 3, 2, 1. Come on, go! We believe. We believe in you. You can do it. just get them in. Fight the shakes in the hands. You can do it. And she sinks in. Congratulations.
Good job, Inga. 6th place.
Very, very, very well done. Oh man, and to be able to, we say it all the time. To be able to get any puzzle done in under 50 minutes is phenomenal. To be able to get any puzzle done in under 40 minutes is amazing. So all of these puzzlers are doing an excellent job here, and it's just really, really great to watch how everybody's doing across the board. Amelia, we can see now that Francisca is coming in on the close. She has that left-hand side and that lower right, sort of a mix of what Hannah and in on the last bit. Andrea Pang and Francisca are about even here, so it's going to be really exciting to see who wants that little bit more. I think Francisca might be piece count-wise slightly ahead of Andrea at this point, but Andrea has such a fast close, she might be able to catch up. Kiara also doing an excellent job. She has that left-hand side remaining. If that whole right-hand side's closed, she might be able to brute force this pretty rapidly and get the rest of those in. And we're gonna see who else wants to be in the top 10 for this first EJJ. And this is all under the 43-minute mark, which is absolutely phenomenal. So many fast puzzlers here. We can see Kiara piece by piece getting the rest of those in. I'm trying to pull Francisca's screen up so I can see that side by side. Andrea Pang almost has the whole lower right hand side built in, and is now in a position to close out pretty quickly here. I think Francisca might be falling behind a little bit. Kiara coming in on the last 30 pieces or so. I think she's going to be able to lock in the next spot, but I think after that it's going to be Andrea and Francisca coming into the top 10, fighting for 9th and 10th, I think, total count wise. But you can see Andrea Pang running. Little bit of a jump, and that's a-okay on the YouTube screen. Don't worry, folks. Technical difficulties. We're right back on it. Kiara has maybe about 30 pieces or so remaining, a little bit less. Andrea Pang moving left, right, trying to get those pieces in. You can see Francisca is being a little more methodical and trying to close out that left-hand side all in one go, rather than bouncing back and forth kind of rapidly between the sides. And Kiara closes out. Congratulations, Kiara. Very, very well done. on this inaugural unpublished EJJ specialty puzzle. This is really, really excellent.
Oh, I just put Daria on the screen. She's almost done. She's got pieces on top of the puzzle and just got little gaps to fill in.
Oh, wow, go Daria.
Another great puzzler from Poland.
The entire Polish contingency just doing an excellent job here. I'm gonna try to pull these up. Oh yeah, Daria is really, really close here. Coming up from behind. Those pieces on top of the puzzle can always be a little bit confusing. But Andrea Pang just had a huge burst of speed to get those in. I think Daria might be able to pull this out. And Daria slides into the next position. Congratulations, Daria. I don't know how many we have left, but I think Andrea has maybe about 5 pieces remaining. She is gunning it, moving as quickly as she possibly can to get those in. And Andrea Pang hits the button. Congratulations, Andrea. Very, very well done.
Yeah, so we're up to 9 now. So top 6 was Alejandro, Kristen, Teresa, Lenka, Hannah, and Inga. Then we are rounding out the top 10 with Kiara, Daria, Andrea, and whoever finishes next. We're at 9. So top 10 spot up for grabs.
Yeah, and I think Olivia, Francisca, and Mari now might be pretty close to being able to get that 10 spot. Mari, we know that Mari has a really, really fast close, but I think Olivia has enough of individual piece slots that she could brute force just by shape to make some really good headway here. Francisca had a little bit of a slowdown trying to get the rest of those in, but piece count wise, she's done very well. Mari Black, you can see that she moves so quickly. She loads her hand up and kind of deals them off almost like cards, but Olivia is pulling away very quickly with that singular line of pieces all down. That are going to be the same gradient, so she's down to maybe about 15 pieces or so. And I think Olivia is going to be able to lock in the top 10 slot here. Francisca not too far behind, but I think Francisca and Mari are going to be fighting for 11th place as Olivia comes into a solid 10th here. Puts a few pieces on top of the board to get them a little closer to where they're going to end up living. One way to do it is to drop them where you know that everything's fill in, like on that orange, rather than sliding them around. But Olivia doing a really, really great job there to to catch up from from behind and get into 10th. Mari Black has done a really good job picking up the pace. You can see that she can smell the end in sight. She was moving a little slower earlier, but now she really has some pace going. But I think Olivia's going to have those last two in, and she hits the done button. Congratulations, Olivia! And gets the top 10 slot in the unpublished EJJ puzzle. Very, very well done.
So 3 Polish in the top 10. Christian, Daria, and Olivia.
Phenomenal.
Victor, where are you tonight? he's in the YouTube chat. No, great job to everyone so far. We're at 47 minutes and we already have the top 10. And Francisca is going to take 11th if there's no one that we don't have on our radar. But yeah, Francisca doing a really great job there.
Francisca's going to be able to catch that. Yeah. Francisca's down to maybe about the last 4 or 5 pieces. She's going to be able to sink those in pretty quickly here. 1, 2, 3. Go on. We believe in you. You can do it. There we go. And locks it out.
Congrats, Francisca.
And Mari Black not too far behind either. Just getting those last couple of pieces in. Yeah, that last stretch, if you just have a string of pieces that are all in a line of the same color, you can just brute force that really quickly and get them in. You can see how quickly Mari gets those last couple of in. Congratulations, Mari Black. Hit the button. Let's go. Very, very well done. Oh man, so many great finishers, and we're still under the 50-minute mark here, folks. That just goes to show how many fantastic puzzlers take part in these Euro Jigsaw Jams, and just a great community that Michelle has helped build here. And this puzzle's great, and I know the next ones that are coming down the pipeline that have all sorts of thought, and the learnings that you've done with this puzzle, Michelle, and the artists that you have coming up are going to really, really be excellent.
Yeah, I will admit that one thing that I noticed immediately when I pulled the pieces out, which I was quite disappointed about, is that it's like a bit pixelated, unfortunately. So that's also something that we've improved. So there was like an extra step in the design process or the editing process that my husband thought he didn't need to do, and then obviously he did. In the second one that we have printed, it is much better for the quality. So yeah, as Daniela mentioned in the comments, that there is a bit you can see some pixels. So on screen we have Veronica, Carolyn, Emilia, Vicky, Iris, and I'm going to add Arkadiusz as well. So yeah.
You can see Veronica got a lot of the dark pieces out of the way, and now just has that girl's sweater to finish out. Vicky finishing up those darker pieces, sort of an inverse between Veronica and Vicky coming into the end. I think Veronica may have slightly fewer pieces, but not by much. You can see that she's taking her time and being pretty methodical. Vicky is at the point of being able to brute force into the end here. So it's going to be fun to see who gets that little bit of an edge, who wants to move just a couple of hairs faster. I know that fatigue has been setting in since the 35-40 minute mark, but we see Vicky crushes those last couple of pieces and lines it out. Congratulations, Vicky, sliding into the next position. Very, very well done.
Yes, so 10th was Olivia, and then 11th Mari, 12th Vicky, and Veronica 13th.
Congratulations to everybody. This is it's a fun puzzle. I don't think it would be called an easy puzzle. Even though there's nice chunks to work on here, there's also chunks that look pretty difficult, like that sweatshirt, and a lot of those darker pieces on the lower right and left hand side are going to be a little tricky. And Carolyn runs into a new spot and into a new position. Congratulations, Carolyn.
Well, I'm very happy that 2 of my teammates are in the top 14. So good job, Carolyn and Francisca. All right, so on screen we have Emilia, Iris, Arkadiusz, Viz. So yeah, so now it feels like the first big wave of finishes has has come and is starting to slow down now a bit as we come to 51 minutes. But yeah, really great for 51 minutes so far. So yeah, let's have a chat with Alejandro, our winner for tonight.
Hello.
Hello, Alejandro. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Tell us what you thought of the puzzle and how you went about it tonight.
That puzzle was really amazing. I love it. I really love it. Congrats for this first anniversary also. And yeah, amazing to be here again.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear that last part, Alejandro. Can you say it again?
Sorry, Jim. I didn't hear you well.
Oh, unfortunately, we're having some breaks in the in the speech.
I wonder what's.
Okay, I think Jim's just hopped out of the moment. Yeah, no, I'm really glad to hear that you enjoyed it, Alejandro. And yeah, can you tell us, like, where did you start? What was your way?
I love it. I love this type of pictures, image. I believe I'm for me it's more easy to separate and find the correct pieces by the colors because all have the same color. And yeah, I just start with the white yellow window on the right corner. Then I just start with the piece table with all the puzzle pieces that were really easy to find them and assembling them. And then once I have the table, I did the girl with the face, hands, the hair, and then I start with the orange. Just say that it was a little bit tricky because there were a lot of pieces with the same orange, and I had to put some minutes. But after that, I had clear ideas that I should take all blacks, reds, all these kind of colors. That was the down part, and I keep the greens of the library and also the plants for the end. So that more or less what I did. And yeah, in the last part, all this library, maybe it's the most difficult part for me because it has so many details, so many lines, and can be a little bit confused. But otherwise at that, I believe everything is really clear to assemble and the process is quite fast.
Mm-hmm. And what did you think of the piece cut and the shapes and the feel of the pieces?
I love it. It's really nice. I believe it reminds me like Pieces and Peace. I believe it's this brand that makes me more familiar with this type of pieces that the assembling it's perfect. So it's you don't have this opportunity to have a lot of mistakes like other brands that maybe can happen. And also, if I want to, well, I could do it, but if I want to take the puzzle, I can do it because, yeah, all pieces are really assembled. So I really enjoyed this new brand, we can say. So was quite beautiful, and for me, one of the best puzzles I've ever done in this type of competitions.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, we definitely hope to bring more regular puzzles out because for us, well, for myself, of course, there's the issue of it's harder to choose puzzles that not everybody has done because it's grown so rapidly. The popularity of speed puzzling has grown so rapidly in the past year, but not the catalogue of 500-piece puzzles has not grown as rapidly. So everything is getting more tighter and tighter. Like obviously all the fun, easy puzzles from a brand get done first, and a lot of harder puzzles get left towards the end. And so that's also part of the reason why I'm motivated to produce more puzzles, is just because, yeah, there's so many speed puzzlers, and it's hard to get anything like that's new and different. Yeah. So, of course, you have produced your own puzzle, and would you like to just tell us about the process of, how you designed your puzzle and how it got, how many months it took, and what are the steps to producing your own puzzle brand?
Yeah, I believe that's awesome that you have this initiative to introduce and release puzzle in this kind of competitions, because as you said, nowadays a lot of people is doing a lot of having this puzzle for practicing, and it has sense to do it like that. And in my case, concerning the question about the puzzle I designed it, I had a clear idea about my design, maybe that I had to put some pieces in the design process. So I like this idea, and I believe maybe in January I start making some rounds by my hand, not the best one, but to have a more or less idea of what kind of image I wanted that had different things. For example, a ball with a piece, or some globes in the air, also with some piece shapes. And at February, more or less, I contact my girlfriend brother that has on some virtual images. So he has this software, and he was interested in develop my image. And from February until April, May, this 3-4 months was a process of totally start to make things, revision, then make change, and until I had the final image that I released in the World Championship last year. So from the beginning until the process of assembling that took place in a German factory, it took us 6-7 months.
6 to 7 months, yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy because of course we are 4 people and we have not this experience in the design process, and to have the clear ideas. I wanted something that to put a puzzle like your image, that can be directly related to you and has this special feeling, not a particular image that you can do it by, I don't know, ChatGPT or something like that you say, okay, I want this, and that's all. No, I believe the thing was to put something special for me. People, I believe, like it, and I'm so glad that so many people has asked me to do new puzzles, and I hope that maybe next year I could do it.
To produce another one.
Yes, we are now producing new ones from other partners that have their own designs. And in my case, I have no time yet to think about it, but I really hope that for next year, I should have the second one designed by myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's very exciting. But yeah, of course, it takes a lot of process to produce an image. I listened today to the podcast, but the Peace Talks podcast between Rob Shields and the artist illustrator Nathaniel Mortensen. Nathaniel designed 6 puzzles now with Ravensburger, and 2 of them have been launched at the US Nationals. Really beautiful puzzles. And he was also explaining how long the process takes to design, and then it goes back to Ravensburger, and they say, well, maybe you should put something in this top corner, and then it goes back, and then he touches it up, and then maybe he changes the colors, and it goes back and forth. And then when they finally say, yep, this is the image, the final image we're going to use, it still takes months before it's printed, delivered, and then put into ready for sale. So it is a long process to do that.
Yeah. Alejandro, when you were going through that, like that month, that the multiple months of dealing with that, at any point did you feel like, this isn't worth it, maybe I should just give up at this point?
Well, at some point, maybe yes, because I was totally disappointed with my first design. I don't know if I should show. I will show someday the process. So I will put the different images that I had, and you will see the difference because it's amazing. And yeah, I had one image that was totally horrible for myself, and I said it has not sense. Maybe I had to change this point of view of using pieces because it was not clear, because my intention first was use everything. So all the details, all the things that appear on the image with pieces. Even the clouds, even the sun, even the sand of the beach. So everything, and was really crazy and has not sense. So it was like my purpose also was to have an image that was perfect for people that likes speed puzzling, so they can do it really fast, but also for people that maybe wants to do something beautiful and can do it in this sense. And my first design was horrible because it has so many details, so many lines, so many pieces, and had not changed. So at this point, I was disappointed, but then I changed my mind. I say, okay, maybe less is better. And I start doing in this way, putting less details, less pieces. And in this sense, I was really happy with my last design and was like, okay, we have it. No more changes, because I really love the last image that we launched, and yeah, that was amazing.
No, that's so cool that you even though you were feeling a little bit of like having to redo and redo, you just kept trudging through. Did you ever feel pressure to, like, you know, you are Alejandro, world champion? Was there like pressure to make it right outside of just what you wanted?
Yeah, at some point, yes, because also when we decide to launch the two puzzles, so my design and the one of Junetta, of Cristina, we decided that we asked 1,000 units, and we didn't know if put the same amount in each one. Finally, we took 700 of my puzzle and 300 of Junetta. Mm-hmm. And at that point was, maybe Junetta design is better. Everybody wants her puzzle, and we stock out the puzzle, and I have 700 units that I don't know what to do with it. But not fortunately, in this sense, the proportion was really the same one. So almost everyone that bought my puzzle bought her, and in this sense, we were really happy. And I received a lot of messages of people asking me for a second design, that they really love it. Today, I saw that the Japanese Federation also shared an image of my puzzle. So it's really beautiful, and I'm really happy with that.
What are you more excited about, that the puzzle is out there and people are like playing with it and really enjoying it, or that you made it for yourself and are happy with it? Like, are you more happy about the joy it brings you, or the joy it brings other people, or something in between?
It's something in between, but yeah, I was happy when I launched and people start buying it. But when I'm seeing that it has passed almost a year, and well, half a year, and people keep doing it, keep sharing it, yeah, saying that they love it, that's the most important part. So I believe I really love that people like the puzzle and they enjoy doing it.
What's a lot of people are, think about making their own puzzles or designing their own thing. What's one of the biggest mistakes that somebody should keep an eye on for? What's one of the things that people don't really think about that they should be aware of if they want to give it a shot?
Of course, I know that some people has bought puzzles to maybe for a present, for an anniversary. And typically, when you buy a puzzle in some online shops or not special shops, the quality is really bad. So to be honest, it's something that people has to take into account. First of all, the quality of the puzzle. Ask for a template. So ask for a puzzle that you can do at home and see if you like, you don't like. And then, of course, the image, I believe everyone has its own ideas. Maybe some people like a lot of colors, or maybe people want to do the most hard puzzle possible. So in this sense, my only recommendation is try to be open mind, design whatever you really like, you really love. And of course, if you have the possibility to ask for other people, and yeah, I asked my parents, I asked some of my friends, so to have more opinions and see if other people likes. And then I believe with that should be enough to don't have so many mistakes in this design and production process.
So it almost sounds like the checking process is a little bit of a small community effort.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. In my case, as I told you, I asked, of course, my Ole Puzzle partners, my parents, my friends. When we asked for the first design, the first template, I have the puzzle. My parents have the puzzle in their home. So I did it, I like it, they did it, and they also like it. And then we say, okay, this is the producer, this is the factory. This is more or less the idea that we will do. And then was the process of start doing some changes in some colors, some details until the last part.
How do you one of the things that I run into, because I do writing and things like that, a lot of content stuff. So I run into an issue where I can never really sure whenever something's done, because there's always like one more thing to tweak. There's always one more little optimization you can make. You can always add a comma or like restructure. There's always one more thing you can. How do you find the point of being comfortable with being done with what you want to do and send it out?
Yeah, it's difficult to find that point because I believe maybe my own studies, for example, when I did my PhD, I had the feeling that I could do more, I could write more pages, I could more analysis. But I believe it's to find a trade-off between the time, because of course in our case we had like a time limit that we say, okay, in May we have to launch the image, because in September we would like to put the image in the World Championship. So it's a trade-off between the time and also to say a level of perfection that for sure you can never goes to that top. So to have more, it's difficult, but to have a trade-off between these two things, and in this sense, okay, it was a moment that I said, the next meeting that I will have with my designer will be the last one. We will say the last changes, and that's all. And we did it, and I'm really happy with the final result.
Well, I think a lot of people are too. I mean, I've watched Mario do it. I've watched so many people knock through that puzzle, and it is just beautiful. How did you come up with the idea of this is the kind of puzzle that you want it to look like?
I was something different because I believe I had my idea from I don't remember. But there exists a collection of puzzles with bats. So everything has a bat in the design, and I really like it. This kind of puzzle, and I really want to do something with pieces for sure, so that the pieces appears. And then I saw also Karen Puzzle Design that she did some some kind of puzzle with show images of a table with pieces. I like it, and I have the puzzles and are amazing. But I thought that maybe it was better to do a new image that the pieces appear in a different way. So I didn't want an image with a photograph or a camera. I really wanted a colorful design like the ones we did today with Mitchell Design. And yeah, with that ideas in my mind, I start doing some round, and then I asked for the designer to put these ideas in the last part.
Oh, that's really cool. I know some people they talk about how there's like an image that they dreamt about somewhere, they kind of saw it in their mind, then wanted to translate it to a page. So it's kind of cool to hear your process on that. When you're doing oh, sorry, Michelle, you're getting ready to ask something.
Yeah, sorry, I had a question. So what was the reason to do it together with friends, and as opposed to like saying taking your design to Ravensburger and doing it like that? Or did it just come up as you were chatting with your friends one day? How did that come about?
Well, they asking me the idea, the opportunity to do a Spanish brand with them, and yeah, I believe that it was a real idea, something that maybe I really know that I could not spend so much time, and they also know it. So in this sense, we made like a trade-off of say, okay, I will try to develop a design, because when they proposed me to have my design, I was really happy with that idea. So to be able to put an image created by myself. And yes, and in this sense, I'm really happy to have worked with them and to keep developing new ideas. And yeah, maybe Ravensburger it has a lot of designs that that I really love, and I don't know if they will have loved this kind of ideas. We will never know. But yeah, I believe having the opportunity to work with clients at least give me less pressure. So not to put maybe a really time limit or really clues that I should follow. And yeah, it makes the process more fun and enjoyable.
Okay, yeah, no, that's interesting. And I also had the other question, like, okay, so I'm admitting the mistakes the mistakes or part of the learning process, like I noticed with this puzzle, like it was a bit pixelated and it was darker than what I had expected. And yeah, did you have any realizations once the puzzle arrived, the delivery arrived, and you did the puzzle? Did you think, oh, maybe I should change this for the next one, or like?
When we did this, where as I said, when we asked for the same template, we sent an image of my puzzle that had more details, because Juneta was really lined with different colors, so was not possibility to have these pixels. Yeah, I put different pieces of different shapes, different sizes, to being able to see how was the maximum or the minimum, in this case, size of the piece that can be seen without problem, so with not pixels. But the fun part, because everyone's had not any problem, was that when we finally released the puzzle and they sent us all the puzzles, we had like the QR code on the right part of each puzzle of all the process. So some people asked me that if they thought it was special. So some people thought that they had like the first puzzle of the production, something like that, but no, it was a mistake. The factory sent us the puzzles with this QR in the right part. Yeah, we asked if we could remove it, but the process to remove it was not easy, and due to the time limits for the World Championship, we could not do it. So we finally sell all these puzzles with this square.
Oh, is that, you mean like there was an extra puzzle piece in there with had like a barcode on it or something?
Exactly.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
exactly.
but you can't change it once it's been printed. Like it's, yeah. But I saw some people who thought they got a special piece in there, so
Yeah.
they felt like they got a bonus piece. Yeah. And you said, oh yeah, you said once that you were doing a photo puzzle. Somebody had made a puzzle using a photo of themselves and a man and wife, I think it was. But you said it was really hard because it was like black and white. So what would you recommend to people who are thinking about like using a wedding photo or a photo of themselves and their beloved? Like, what should they watch out? Because like, first of all, this one that you're doing, the other person, I think you said it was just too hard for them, so they asked you to do it, but it was huge. Like, also think of like maybe the first puzzle should not be too huge.
Exactly. First of all, if it's a difficult image, so it's only black and white, please don't ask for a 2,000 piece puzzle, because 1,000 pieces of white, totally white, 1,000 pieces of gray black, it's awful to do it. I have not finished. I have this puzzle at home since 2023, I believe. Yeah, I have to find time to do it, but I didn't find it yet. Also because I'm really depressed when I spend so many hours and I only are able to put some pieces, because also the quality is really bad. So yeah, it's a lot of mistakes, a lot of pieces. And in this sense, I believe I will try to finish it not in the best way, because I believe it's really impossible to do it. Maybe I can bring the puzzle to the World Championship, put it on a table, and if all participants want to finish it, could be an idea. I will ask Alfonso, but otherwise I believe there is not idea to do it. And yeah, in this sense, I will ask people that wants to make a gift with a puzzle image to try to find an image that has little different colors, and if it's not possible, try to reduce at least until 1,000 the number of pieces, because more than that, I believe it's really awful for people that maybe don't like a lot of puzzles or have not this patience, or they don't practice a lot, or they have not done all puzzles all their life. It will be really difficult.
Yeah, so people can really underestimate the difficulty of a photo of themselves, how difficult that is to actually puzzle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jim, did you have another question for Alejandro?
I'm not sure about a question, but it was funny that you were saying about bringing a puzzle to Worlds and just having an army of puzzlers all work on it. I've definitely seen it where people surreptitiously put a very hard puzzle out, and they'll invite people over and be like, "Oh, I didn't know this really hard puzzle was here, but if you wanted to work on it, you can."
Yeah.
And everybody kind of gets dragged into it. So I think if you really want to get rid of a hard puzzle, that's the place to put it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I actually think that's a really good idea, because it's like you've got like 1,000 puzzlers there. So it's like if everybody places one piece, throughout the process of throughout the progress of 6 days, like it will be a community effort, and then you can the image can be like glued and framed, and then given back to the people and say it's done now. Like.
So sort of like the hobbits and at the end of Return of the King. It is done.
Yeah. There was a question in the YouTube chat. Is Alejandro going to participate in Worlds, and will you be there with partner and peers and team again?
Yeah, I will be at Worlds with Gisela again. So in pairs we will keep the same partner of my last 2 years. And then I will change the teams. In teams, we will be Gisela and Rafa and Laura. That their there are a couple of speed puzzles here in Spain, also from Madrid, as Gisela, and I believe, well, I can say they are always in the top 3 of Spain partners. Yeah, I did last year the Spanish championship with them. So this team was the ones that did the Spanish championship, and we did really fast. And yeah, this will be the team. So I will change only in teams, but I keep the same partner with Gisela, and also I will be in individual.
Yeah, you and Isela are a really, really good pairing. It's fun. It's always fun to watch you two. So that'll be a blast.
Yeah, I'm really happy with her because it's like my perfect partner in puzzles. She likes everything that I don't like, and the same happens at the otherwise. So she loves looking the image. I don't like looking the image. She loves doing the ads. I don't like doing the ads. She loves details. I like big columns, big regions. So in this sense, I believe I cannot find anyone better than her to do a puzzle with her.
That's really great. Are you planning on preparing any differently this year than you have in the past?
Well, I believe we will go to the Spanish National Championship together. So that will be a kind of preparation because we will do it the same in pairs, and also the teams of the Spain Championship will be the same one of Spain of World. Sorry. It's true that in the Spain Championship we will use Educa, so we will use our own brand of Spain. So I believe this year my intention will be to practice in Madrid and maybe go there 1 week or some days and practice with her and also Rafael Laura, because they all live in Madrid City, and yeah, I believe we can rate some Ravensburger 1,500. Well, not 1,000 only because it's the same for the pairs and teams, and yeah, try to practice with them and be comfortable in teams.
It sounds like a blast. I'm really glad you might get to like run out and actually get to like do a few rounds with them ahead of time.
It will be.
No, well, I know that like in the puzzle community, you're just so respected, and people get a kick out of just how gregarious you are and kind-hearted, and it's just really, really phenomenal to see you just do everything that you do and do it so well all the time. It's really fun.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't. Do you have anything else going on in your life that you want to tell people about? Puzzling, otherwise, like what else happening with Alejandro these days?
Well, I can finally say that I won my university position. That I had been working a lot in all these things.
Congratulations.
So yeah, really good news. I'm really happy with that. Since November, I've been with all this process that to be honest, I didn't see the end until last 2 weeks, I believe. Yeah. And yeah, luckily I have to put in mind some work details, how I will split my work between university and my research institute. But it seems that everything goes in the correct direction, and in this sense, if everything goes well, maybe in May I will have more time finally to enjoy doing more puzzles. I have 3 or 4, I'm not sure, EGG puzzles at my home. So I believe in April, May, and June I will participating in some of solo competitions of Michel. Yeah, that's also, so really happy to be here again and doing these beautiful puzzles that Michel prepared for us.
Well, we're always happy to have you back on the circuit. I know you've been working hard for that university position, so really congrats. That's a
Thank
huge
you.
upgrade in life right there. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
And selfishly, it means that you get to come back and play with us a little bit more often, which is
Yeah,
which is great.
also,
Yeah, the whole standard deviation of puzzling just shifts because people get excited to see you and play with you as well, which is awesome. But oh, man, that's congrats. That university position is just that's a huge game changer right there.
thank you so much.
Are you how does it feel compared winning the first unpublished EJJ made puzzle or university position? Which one has a little more weight?
Wow, I'm so happy for Michelle, and I'm so honored to be here today and had the possibility to won this unreleased competition that for me is special because I believe I was in the first EGG contest, and to be here again 1 year later, it's beautiful. But it's true that I cannot compare to something that I've been waiting
No,
so many times. And as I said, since November, I had no life for the puzzle. So I've been totally focused on that position, and having it in my hands, it makes me really happy.
Yeah, well, we're all really excited for you, and I don't want to. I'll let you get on with your day. You can go do other things, but congratulations for the puzzling and for the university and just being a wonderful human being. Alejandro.
Thank you so
You're
much,
excellent.
Jim. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for your time, Alejandro.
Thank you, Michelle. Was a pleasure as always.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
You too. Bye.
All right, so yeah, we've had finishes rolling in very steadily, and we're coming up to 1 hour and so it'll be 90 minutes very shortly. And yeah, most people have managed to finish under that time frame, which is really exciting. And we're also going to see some people finish in the next minute or so. Michel Kuprianiuk is about to finish, and Birgit is done as well. And Eberly, Aaron and Angelica also looking really great there.
Yeah, people are doing really well here. I don't know. We might be able to get a room clear. I can't see everybody on screen at the same time, but we might be able to have everybody finish, which would be really cool. So keep pushing everybody. I know, coming in on the hour 29 mark, that it starts to feel a little grueling, especially whenever you're in those dark sections that are tricky, but you can do it. I believe in you. And so does everybody else. Alejandro believes in you.
Yeah, no, it's so it's going really well so far. So in the Flex meeting this morning, there was only one person who didn't finish, and they were so close. They had 24 pieces left. And from those who have submitted their times, nobody has had to count pieces yet. So that would be really great if we get an almost a really high percentage of people finishing within the time limit. That'd be really excellent.
Well, fingers crossed, and maybe not the puzzlers' fingers crossed, because you're going to need those to keep moving quickly here. But we think you can do it. Just remember that if something's not working, you're allowed to move on to a different area and come back to it, right? Jump around a little bit, because sometimes if you let your brain unscramble, you can figure out what needs to happen. Sometimes you just got to move the pieces around to where they're a little closer, so that way you can see them easier. Whole bunch of different tactics that you can use. Just take a deep breath, because sometimes you just got to let the adrenaline out of your body, and that goes a long way in helping recalibrate, and then you can move forward a little bit.
Yeah, so just to clarify, some people have asked about the future competitions or future unpublished puzzles. So we have, as I mentioned earlier, we have already had a second one printed. This one has not been sold yet. So this is one that would be used in July or August, and that was also AI generated from the same company. Printed by the same company. So it's also the same piece cut and the same feel of the pieces, but we have improved the resolution of the image and we are considering trying a different factory for the third puzzle. So we have my colleague who likes to, draw. We are working on something together to come up with a cute, fun, colorful image. But yeah, that's something, it takes time. And yeah, as Alejandro says, from start to finish, it does take time. But something that I want to mention is that when I announced on Instagram that we were using an AI image, and of course there was a lot of discussion around that, there was a lot of commentary. I did receive some messages, some people reached out to me and they said, oh, I draw pictures or I take photos and I would love for my picture to be used on an EJJ puzzle in exchange for like the exposure, the advertising, or in exchange for some puzzles or something like that. So that was quite interesting. I mean, it's not something I asked for, but people just volunteered that of themselves. So that is something that we are open to and considering. And in terms of working with an illustrator, what people need to realize is that, like, this is a really small print run. Like, we are talking about 100, maximum 130 puzzles per print run. If you were to get like a license or to commission an artwork or something, like that is tiny. Like, if people get puzzles printed, like normally they would get like thousands or like a minimum of 500 printed to make it worth it for the price of the artwork. And the other thing is, if you work with an artist, they have specific expectations of how their work is produced and presented. And as I said, when I first got this one, I noticed immediately that there were some quality issues with it. And I would have felt really terrible if we had worked with an artist for whatever image and the quality was not good, because then it's like, what do we do now? Are they going to be happy that the image is pixelated? Does that mean we have to scrap this puzzle and basically go and do a second print run? Like, I would feel really terrible and be like, oh, we've let them down. But yeah, so these are just some of the things to consider. I'm not saying that we would never use, a proper illustration, but we are really small. Like, you have to consider that. Like, we're not Ravensburger. We did not set out to create a huge brand. This is like, we're taking baby steps. And, I'm not going to say that we're never going to use AI again, but we have to figure this out for ourselves. We have to make mistakes and learn from them. And see where it takes us.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning process. I mean, me just listening to Alejandro and all of the rounds of updates that he's had to go to, and even you now looking at the image in front and seeing it and seeing all the little things that you would want to upgrade. Like, it's a lot of intricate little things that all kind of overlap at the same time, and I think it's really great that you're using stuff as a way to learn and do more optimizations to make better puzzles and a better experience for everybody over time, right? Nobody ever does anything perfect the first time, so I'm really glad that you're getting the kinks out of the system. I even just noticing how the disparity of the dark pieces are. I don't know how I would plan for that, because there's a lot of puzzle images that I can think of in my mind's eye that have dark things on them. How many people put in the thing, what kind of puzzle image would you want? It's a poster, right? Do you account for that kind of darkness in there? And even then, does a computer generated version of that image have more dark in it that you have to account for somehow, right? Or does an artist have a particular leaning? Like, we've all seen some artists have color palettes that can be that can be tricky to play with, whether it's as a puzzler or as a manufacturer, right? I know sometimes Demelsa's puzzles, they can look a little dark on the picture, and then on the puzzle pieces they can be really dark in terms of the ravs, and that can be tricky. So there's all sorts of things to play around with, and I don't envy you or anybody that's like trying to navigate all of those waters at the same time. It's got to be really tough.
Yeah, so no, I mean, I think it's an interesting process and we're definitely learning from it. And I just, when you hear people, like, for example, like smaller brands like Sunshine Puzzles or Villager Puzzles, they've also, or even Peasley Puzzles, they've changed their factory already. So I don't think there's any brand out there who's like starting out that they get everything perfect on the first run. Peasley Puzzles were printed in Turkey. Now they're printed in Poland. Sunshine Puzzles were printed in Germany. Now they're printed in Turkey. Villager Puzzles, they changed, they changed the actual cut of the puzzle because they got the feedback that it was too crumbly, that you couldn't move sections around. And, those are things that take time to test and to, try different factories and try different cuts to get that figured out. But I think it's a very interesting process. So actually we have a guest interview. We're just waiting for her to finish, and she has. So congratulations, Kristen. We have Kristen Linzer from Germany, and she has actually had some puzzles printed. And we thought that she could tell us about how she chose those puzzles and what was that like. Yeah, so hi, welcome, Kristen.
I'm so happy I made it with some time to spare. It's my first ever online competition or puzzle competition ever. So thank you. Yeah, I've been puzzling for, I don't know, all my life, as long as I can remember. It's been 1,000 pieces in the beginning or during my childhood, and I've only recently gone into the 500 piece count ever since I discovered that speed puzzling is actually a thing. So the puzzles that I made to just leisurely puzzle were 1,000 pieces beforehand. And my idea is, because I love this picture, but I prefer landscapes. I love me a good sky, gradient, and whenever there's a sky involved and I will be puzzling in a pair and maybe a team even, then I'm going to say, hey, give me the sky. I'm happy with that. I'll do that. So one of the first puzzles that I made is actually a lot of sky. This is Tromsø in Norway, where I went on a cruise to see the Northern Lights in March of 2019. So it was really beautiful there, very winterly. So I did try to challenge myself as well. So this, I don't know how long this took. I didn't keep time back then. And these were some that I recently did after I discovered the 500 piece count. This is the Geirangerfjord, also in Norway, which is one of the most famous views. Actually, is from the mountain down into the fjord. This is from Thailand, a temple that we visited there. And I also did some animals that the picture that I took at the local zoo here in Leipzig, where I live. And the main reason I wanted to do this was actually to do a puzzle of this. So this is a collage of 4 Northern Lights pictures. And this is very, this is a challenge. So yeah, this is what I've done.
All your puzzles look quite challenging.
They are. I never did it for time. If I had factored in the time factor, then I might have gone for maybe easier motives, but I still think it's so lovely to piece together a lovely travel memory and to actually challenge yourself at the same time. I usually wait for some good offers because it is quite expensive, and I've only so far gone with the brand that you saw on the cartons because I just know that they are good and I would not want to risk quality with the money that you spend on that. They are a bit different, as we also see here, because those limited runs are usually a matte print printed directly on the carton and not like we saw in the Karen Puzzles video when they went to the factory, that it's actually a regular cardboard for all the puzzles and they get glued on top with the silk paper image that looks a little more crisp maybe. So the custom puzzles are printed directly on the on the carton so that they have a different look to them. But everything else, the puzzle cut, the pieces, the haptic feel to it is like a regular Ravensburger puzzle. So I really love doing these. I need to do these again. I've been focusing on the 500 piece count because I actually signed up to attend the World Championships in September. I'm taking it in with the Olympic spirit. Just making it under 90 minutes would be great.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I noticed you started with the 1,000 and then you went to the 500. So, so now you're doing more 500s because you're training.
I'm definitely doing more 500s in order to increase my chances of actually making it within the 90-minute mark. I barely did not make it, but I'm very happy with everything that is under 1 hour and 45 minutes. So. And this is unreleased. So unfortunately at Worlds, I would love for everybody to get an unreleased puzzle in every round, because what I'm doing right now is actually spurred by trying to, get an advantage by increasing the chance of having the puzzle that you get before. So because you are definitely faster than that, this is also quite expensive. But there are puzzle swaps, and there is the Puzzle Verein, of which I'm a member as well. So I attend the local puzzle meets, and
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you thought about the puzzle tonight and your first competition experience.
I was a bit nervous, and I was a little less so because we have the 2 hours. So I was pretty confident that I wouldn't hopefully make it within that time frame. The 90-minute thing is still something that happens and mostly does not yet regularly happen. But I've also signed up for one of those 50+ EJ days. And the picture, when I got it out of the wrapping paper, I thought, oh, this has great big sections that you can then work on. I started with the edge, which is something that I do with every 1,000-piece puzzle, but have not been regularly doing with the 500-piece puzzles, because like if I have a sky and there's maybe like a sunset in the middle, I usually start in the middle with the sunset, because that starts out and then just spread out to the edge. And I thought I would start with the edge here. I actually found the dark sections not too intimidating, because if you keep the puzzles really close to the edge, then you actually see, okay, this is more of a greenish black, or this is more of a reddish black. So that was quite okay. I saw the pixelated sections here and there, but I think it's a lovely motif, and that's how I'm puzzling most of the time. It's very cozy, comfy cozy, which is something I associate with puzzling. So.
No, that's really great. Did you notice a you say that you do like a lot of thousands. Did you notice any difference between doing thousands primarily and then going into the 500s?
With a 1,000-piece puzzle, I usually think twice about doing it, because then even with a puzzle mat or a puzzle board, then they take up quite a bit of space. And there's always, I have a cat who's lying next to me, and there's always the question of him destroying, walking on top or something like that. So you think twice before getting out a 1,000-piece puzzle, because there's no chance that I, especially during the week or something like I cannot get it done in a day, or I've not even ever tried to get it done in a day, even though I am also very fast on these. And the advantage of the 500s really is that you sit down and you can do it in one sitting, no matter how long it takes, but you can get it done. You can get something finished. And this feels every time like a little accomplishment. And and afterwards you just destroy everything, put it back into the box, and then it's like you've never puzzled before. So this is very space friendly. In as that you don't have to reserve space for them. You just do them. You just have to have the table cleared. But this is definitely feasible in comparison to leaving it on here or even rolling it up. I don't like the puzzle mats, because the felt, and you cannot really move around and move the pieces around. So it's always a little, I don't know. I don't like the feel of puzzling on a puzzle mat. and the rolling up always. But then a board you have to store, you have to put it somewhere under the couch, on top of a cupboard or whatever. So I really love the 500 piece quantity.
You've mentioned a couple of times that like the feel of things really plays into how you think about it and how you react to it.
Yeah.
What about a specific kind of piece or a specific kind of like cut or something that like really speaks to you?
I'm very used to the Ravensburger cut. I love that that they interlock well, so that you don't when you're a bit hectic and you do not destroy them so easily. I did the New York Puzzle Company, the New Yorker advent calendar with 24 100-piece puzzles, and they have the random cut, which is something that I had to really get. The quality is excellent. I love they are also something in between matte and shiny and just the right amount. And I love the size because I did it every day before breakfast during Advent season. And I posted them in my WhatsApp status as well. And people really enjoyed them. But the random cut I really had to get used to, because that is something I did not encounter with any of the other puzzle brands that I had done before. But once you get the general idea of the edges of the puzzles or the corners of the puzzle pieces do not always align, then you start to think differently and start to think more randomly in assembling everything. But I do prefer, and I'm much faster on this, standard puzzle cut.
I know sometimes people make the argument that putting like the vinyl or plastic sheen over top of the puzzle helps kind of preserve the colors or helps certain things pop from a distance. What kind of thoughts do you have about that? Because I know some people like feeling the puzzle while doing it is really important, but then other people want to do the puzzle and then hang it up somewhere or see it from. So there's a little bit of a trade-off on there, and I'm always curious what people think about it.
I did once put up, I think it was a New York City skyline picture puzzle of a brand where I did not like the puzzle cut and the haptics of the puzzle itself. So gluing it together and then hanging it up was the best idea, because I did not want to do it again. That was the main motivation behind that. It's not on the wall anymore because I have some real art, quote unquote, on my wall, and I've not recently had the idea of hanging a puzzle. But I think even here with the puzzles that I did, they could all be wall pieces, and I would never put something on a puzzle or have a puzzle made of that I would not be willing to hang on my wall, because then it's not just beautiful enough or something to make it worth the investment. But my problem is I live on the first floor and in the city, so lighting is really my crux. Because I even now I puzzled with my overhead table lamp, which makes it easy to see, but I also was filming this and I have put a few videos on YouTube as time lapses of the 500 pieces that I've done in my training sessions. And for this is awful, because then you have just the glare on the table and you don't really see. But I don't have that much natural light, and I don't have a fourth room to put a puzzle, like a dedicated puzzle room into. I would love that, but that's not, unfortunately. I'm very much hoping that, like in Spain with the Millennium Dome, that if you puzzle through during the day, hopefully that there's lots of natural light and you don't have to worry about glare or something like that, which I will be very happy to have. This will definitely be an improvement and hopefully shave some minutes of my puzzling time as well, because this actually makes a lot of a difference. I've noticed that once I turn on this lamp, even when I'm recording, then it goes that much faster, just because you don't have to guess and squint and move to see the colors better by getting closer to the.
Oh yeah. Well, and even then, what the puzzle is kind of dictates what lighting is most helpful.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you don't need that much light for a gradient, which is something that I love. I purchased my first gradient as a 1,000-piece puzzle a few years ago, and I thought, oh, I have just purchased the most difficult puzzle ever. And then I just started doing it, and it just went like that. Because if you can see it well enough, and if you have some color perception, that's not off in your brain, then they are very, very easy to do. And I have done my fastest time on those as well, since I've also purchased a 500-piece one. Ravensburger unfortunately don't have a 500-piece gradient in their lineup, so
they have a 638-piece
but
crypt.
I purchased that. I have not done it yet because that's one of the more randomized piece cuts. So it's a little, and it's the size of a 1,000-piece puzzle,
it's
in
fun,
dimensions. So
it's quite fun. It's the only crypt that can be done in like less than 2 hours.
I would
less than 6 hours.
I would never go for all black or the shiny one, or I'm not that crazy.
Yeah.
There's Fruzu is mentioning in the chat that there's not a lot of natural light in the Millennium Dome.
Okay.
So if anything, you're going to be well practiced for it.
That's also a good way to look at it.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that their default puzzling environment is non-optimal, which kind of works out, because if you go to a non-optimal situation, or I know that in the dome at night it can get in the evenings it can get pretty dark and rough,
because then they have to turn on the overhead lights as well.
The overheads or even the Megatron screen can spit colors that are kind of wacky
true.
on the puzzle.
They show the live stream as well. Yeah, definitely.
So if you get used to weird lightings, it might be to your advantage.
That's the next level of the challenge, puzzling in the dark with as low light as possible.
Well, I have to say, it didn't bother me at all. Like, I didn't really notice that. I mean, I even did a pairs competition starting at 9 o'clock at night, but I think there was just so much going on. Like, I didn't even really think about the lighting at all. We were all at pairs at tables. We had 2 pairs per table, so there was 4 people. It was the last competition of the night. Had kind of a party atmosphere, and it just was loud and buzzing. And yeah, I don't remember specifically me personally being affected by the lighting, but I know other people did. People who were at the front said that there was reflections from the screen, sometimes making, as Jim says, different colors, or making too much glare.
I think it's also a question of for me personally, I have no problem driving in the dark, but I have a problem driving when it gets darker, because then you sometimes feel like, why is there not enough light anymore? Who would switch the light off? And I think if you start puzzling at 9 and it's already dark outside, then it might be something else than you start at 7 or 6:30. I don't know the timetable, and it gets dark gradually, and the lighting changes during your puzzle. Then I think that might even be. I had that because in the afternoon, like now that it's spring, the sun is above the house and it reflects from the window that is here. And then at one point, then actually I had a whole batch of like white light on my table, and this was not good either. I don't. Yeah, I love this light, but it doesn't lend itself well to filming it. But that should be the second thought anyway. So.
Well, I know on Puzzlegram and some other places, people try to share tips on how to light your room a little bit to lower glare. I know if you can use a diffuser or reflect the light onto the puzzle rather than having it straight out, you get a little less glare, that kind of thing. But that's not always a setup everybody can get to.
That is true. I was in a hotel a few months ago, and they as a like work table, it was on the smaller side, but it was exactly as deep as a portrait size 500 piece. So it was I think it's 50 No, 6.
Mhm.
I don't know. And they had a LED strip, like the TV was above one of those rooms where everything is, you have 4 corners and there's the bed and there's the table and then there's the TV in the other one. So the TV was hanging on top and they had a LED strip, which and it had a back wall, so no chance of puzzle pieces falling off, which was quite nice. I just shot everything, and it was mostly indirect light because I was not puzzling directly under the LED strip.
Yeah.
So I thought this might actually be for a puzzle table. If you do not have a big window to sit under, then this might actually be a compromise to do. Just putting it against a wall and making like doing a little line of LED strips to just give a general indirect light.
Yeah. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to the folks that we have remaining. We got about 3.5 minutes left. Get as many pieces together as you can. Use this as like a boost. We believe in you. Just get a couple more in, even if you only get like another 5, 10 in and then for the next like 2 minutes. That's 30 pieces down. You can do it. Just go. Get your hands a moving. It'll be great.
Yeah, keep on going, Andreas and Amanda. Keep on going.
Kristen, I actually have an interesting question. When you're thinking about what kind of images you would use to make a puzzle, are you also thinking about what kind of lighting people have available to them, or do you just kind of go with what's on the screen? Like how much of what alternative setups are you thinking about whenever you're in the creation phase?
I actually, so far, I've always, I take so many pictures during vacations, and every time I say to myself, I need to sit down at one point and make them perfect in like Lightroom and Photoshop and everything. And of course, there's something that should be done before transferring them onto a puzzle, but I did not do that with any of these pieces just because probably a time issue and sitting down and then making it perfect. And I'm actually trying to be happy with the pictures the way they come like out of camera, and not having to tweak them. And it worked out fine with most of them. The Northern Lights are really tricky, but they are tricky in general, and I don't want to enhance them to make them look unnatural just so that I can differentiate between the colors, because that's not what I saw. The pictures that I took are actually what I saw with my own eyes, and it's not just a photographic Northern Lights view, but this was very hard, and it's especially hard when you have light shining on top of them, because that definitely was like different shades of green and black and some violet in between. But I don't think about, like with my puzzles, I don't think about that much. But now looking also at the screen to the 2 overhead views of the 2 remaining puzzlers, the color looks very, very different on there than what I have here. So lighting really, really makes a difference. I prefer warm light, which is not always the best maybe to have, but yeah, I don't think of that with my puzzles. It's just something I recognize while doing it. If it's good or not so good.
I mean, it's tough to figure out what's going to be the best fit, right? Like there's so many little things that go into that you can either plan for every single one of them, and then even then it may not be a perfect fit, and that's a-okay. So I think your method of just like, hey, I'm going with it and this is how it is excellent. And
it's the same with purchasing puzzles. You purchase them and think, oh, this looks great, I would love to do that, and this might be a quick
10,
one, and then you just
9,
sit here
8,
and then 7, it's not a quick one.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. 2 hours. Oh,
congratulations.
Well done, Andreas and
well
Amanda.
Done.
Puzzling for 2 hours straight. Well done.
Oh man, and that's not like, this isn't an easy puzzle by any stretch.
No.
People have just the level of competition is wonderful. Congrats, Andreas and Amanda. You did really, really well. Actually, I think you guys might almost be even piece count wise. This is gonna be really fun.
And the same strategy.
Yeah.
They both have them the same sections left.
Pieces. Yeah, it's even the hair has almost the same pieces.
Oh yeah. True. I think even when I was watching the Flex meeting this morning, there was always like a missing piece in the hair, 1 or 2 pieces missing in the hair, because they yeah, they blend in with the dark corners at the bottom.
It's the third shade of black in this one, and it's I also put one of those in last.
Yeah, so yeah, Andreas has woven his leftover pieces, and Amanda, we'll wait for Amanda as well. Kristen, just a quick question. How did you find out about speed puzzling?
Actually, I think it might have been just by coincidence. Maybe I have watched one puzzle video, and then it was around September that I actually stumbled upon the live streams of the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships in Valladolid, and then was glued to my computer screen watching this and getting really sucked into it. And then I discovered that this is actually a thing, and there's a very up until now very wholesome speed puzzling community out there, Puzzlegram on Facebook, on YouTube, and then with my endeavors starting to contribute to that, I think it's a very lovely community to be in. So that's when I started doing it for speed, in addition to doing it for fun.
Yeah, so actually pretty new, but yeah, that's great. That we'll see you at Worlds this year, and yeah, hopefully, yeah, so good, more competitions and training between now and September.
Definitely, I've signed up for 2 more EJJs, so one every month. Maybe I can manage to have one every month until the Worlds. So let's see about that.
Yeah, and
but thank you so much for also this lovely puzzle to add to the collection.
Yeah, you're welcome. And just from your stack on your table, can you show us your favorite one? Do you have a favorite of your custom puzzles?
I think it might be one of the more recent ones of the fjord because as a bucket list item, I also did a helicopter ride over Geiranger Fjord. So this is really a lovely memory of seeing this and spending some time there and taking a walk there. But it was very difficult. It took me more than 2 hours to get that finished.
Yeah, those trees look pretty difficult.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us and for showing us your puzzles and what you've done. Yeah, and we look forward to seeing you in future competitions.
Thank you. I look forward to it as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so everybody did really well today. That means so far only 3 people didn't manage to finish, but which is one of the best, considering we had about 120 or 130 people participating. That's like a really great result.
Yeah. So congrats to all of the puzzlers participating today, and also congrats to you, Michelle, and the Euro Jigsaw Jam for having a new puzzle out and just bringing so much joy to so many people. It's really phenomenal. I hope you're as excited about it as everybody else is today.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you just hear it over and over again, like unreleased puzzles, and I mean, I really try really hard to find puzzles that are not just run-of-the-mill ones. You're never going to see a postcard in my competitions. I'm really trying hard to find new puzzles or new brands or rare puzzles, but it is getting harder, and so in the end, like it's kind of inevitable that it's going to head in this direction, and so we're exploring that, and yeah, we look forward to sharing this journey with you all and growing and seeing where this takes us.
Keep exploring. I am excited to see where the ship heads off to, where no puzzlers have gone before. It's pretty phenomenal. And there were a whole bunch of comments in the chat and elsewhere of people saying that the piece cut is great and it's such a cute image. And just I hope you're really excited and proud of yourself. And I'm jazzed to see where this takes you next.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And I'm really grateful for all the participants who signed up for today and to experience this puzzle with us and see how the times were. Thanks, Jim, for your company, and also to all our YouTube followers for your comments and for watching. So the next competition will be in a week on Tuesday. And we'll see you again then for the next live stream. Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.